Friends, senior fellows, welcome one and all. I am Michael Elliott, President and Executive Director of Valley Health Foundation. Senior Fellow, Class 42. And because 11 people that Suzanne asked first and all declined, I'm your MC this evening. Tonight we're gathered to celebrate some extraordinary humans and this incredible ALF network. And we're also sending off a CEO of 9 years. And we have a special announcement later in the program in honor of our friend Tong Do, Urbanism Class 38. We have 2 exceptional John W. Gardner awardees with us this evening. From Class 12, Cindy Chavez. And from Class 23, Mike Gaulke. Tonight we're also celebrating a network because ALF is all about creating networks that collaborate. For 28 years, APALI, the Asian Pacific American Leadership Institute, pardon me, thank you APALI table, has provided leadership development opportunities. Let's give a hand to our honorees this evening. For 38 years, ALF has convened leaders from all walks of life to get in right relationships with themselves and each other so that they can do right in their communities. The 834 senior fellows who have graduated from ALF Silicon Valley have collaborated to change local and state laws. They formed organizations and championed initiatives for affordable housing, improvements in our mental health care system, workforce development for youth, resources for artists and art organizations, and the list goes on and on. The ripple effect of ALF Senior Fellows through the Fellows Program and the deep networks that are formed is impossible to quantify. But so much of the good that we see today in Silicon Valley comes from these leaders and the networks and relationships they formed in ALF. I don't think anyone here would doubt the extraordinary need for ethical, holistic, and courageous leadership in our communities and in our country right now. And to that end, we will have an opportunity a little later in the program to raise our paddles as the organization navigates a CEO transition and continues the critical support work of nurturing and connecting leaders. I hear also that there is an ALF book hot off the presses 5 years in the making that is available for you tonight as well. But first, let us thank the sponsors that have made tonight possible. And I ask for you for a very present, all-in, dare I say spiritual, ALF one clap for each of our sponsors, starting with our nonprofit sponsor, the Health Trust. At the bronze level, Applied Materials, Texas Instruments, Sobrato Philanthropies, gotta get that word out, Philanthropies, Heritage Bank, Tracy Toyota, 49ers Foundation, Cisco. At the silver level, Rich and Sally Slavin, Silver Lake, and our presenting sponsor, Sutter Health. They get 2 claps. They give 2 claps because they gave the most amount of money. And not only that, but I am pleased now to welcome to the stage the CEO of Sutter Health to say a few remarks. Please, a warm ALF welcome for Warner Thomas.
Sutter Health is pleased to sponsor this amazing event tonight and recognizing leaders who have inspired and motivated others. We're just so impressed with the amazing work that ALF does each and every day to literally change and save lives around our communities. So give yourself a big round of applause for what you do. I'd like to say that, every year Sutter Health serves about 3.6 million people. We certainly have a huge responsibility in the communities that we serve, just as ALF does. And at Sutter Health, we like to say that we work hard every day to change and save lives. And we know that's what ALF does as well. We do have one of our special friends of Sutter Health that is being honored tonight, and that is Mike Gaulke. Mike is give Mike a huge round of applause. Mike's a true visionary, and he has long understood the importance of healthcare and has brought innovation and great thinking to Sutter Health into what we do each and every day. As a board member in Sutter's Palo Alto Medical Foundation and also serving, including being chair of our system-wide board, Mike has always consistently brought that Silicon Valley ingenuity and innovation to Sutter Health. His leadership is the reason that Sutter Health is recognized today as one of the most innovative not-for-profit health systems in America because of the great work that Mike and Judy have done to support Sutter Health. So let's give them a big round of applause, a big thank you. As philanthropists, Mike and Judy have provided the fuel we need to develop innovative solutions, such as a new technology called Scout, which is an innovative platform that provides mental health support for teens and young adults. And as of today, Scout's been downloaded by 20,000 teens across America and is being used to help them build resilience and to deal with their mental health challenges that they have each and every day. Last year, Mike and Judy were critical to the successful launch of our first ever system-wide innovation challenge. And the winner of that innovation challenge is a neuroscience project with a company called NeuroTrack that is a technology that helps us develop advanced diagnosis of Alzheimer's. So it's an incredible, incredible project. We will continue to run that innovation challenge across our system, and Mike and Judy, along with many others, are involved in that great work. Once again, I just want to, on behalf of our 61,000 employees and all the people we serve each and every day, give a huge congratulations to Mike. It's a privilege to honor him today. Thank you for making Sutter Health a better organization, and thanks for your contributions. And once again, on behalf of our organization, our congratulations to ALF for the great work that you do each and every day. We look forward to working together to continue to change our communities and save and change lives in the area. Thank you.
Thank you, Warner. Thank you to Sutter Health and to all the sponsors. Give me up a round of applause for all our sponsors this evening, making this event possible. Finally, I'd like to address the obvious and acknowledge that tonight is Suzanne St. John Crane's last night as the CEO of ALF Silicon Valley. And Suzanne, I think there's probably more than one nonprofit CEO in this room that's dreamed of quitting on the night of their annual banquet. So thank you for living that dream for us. When Suzanne was hired in 2016, she resigned her role of more than a decade as the founding chief executive at Create TV San Jose, an organization she built from startup into one of the most innovative community media organizations in the United States. Her decision to leave that job was a very difficult one, and I know that because at the time, I was her board chair at Create TV. So I think it's important I come clean to all you people tonight as we recognize Suzanne's steady leadership during the pandemic, as we thank her for her wisdom, for her personal courage, for her deep commitment to this work. I want all of you to know that no one worked harder to stop all of that from happening than me. Yes, I tried to talk Suzanne out of taking this job. I told her it wasn't a good fit for her skill set. I told her she would miss the work family she had at Create TV, and I questioned how anyone could tolerate that much large group camping. But fortunately, Suzanne, you have always been the wiser one, and I hope I can speak for everyone in this room when I say job well done. So it is a special moment for me to be able to introduce you one last time in a public forum in your capacity as CEO of American Leadership Forum Silicon Valley. To share some reflections on her remarkable tenure, can we give a warm, gratitude-filled welcome to Suzanne St. John Crane.
goodness. That has got to be Damone Carter. It just does. Oh my goodness. I'm honored and I'm overwhelmed and I'm humbled and God, I'm so grateful that I had the last 9 years with you all and that I still get to be a senior fellow and come back next year. I just don't have to write the script. Y'all, I began my journey in 2016 as the ALF CEO, a few months before the presidential election. Remember that? I had just twice graduated from American Leadership Forum's classic class of 25, and you all are in the house today, camping, kayaking with Krista Gannon. I love you guys. And Urbanism Class 34, and I know you all are here somewhere too. So I'm actually a double dipper in ALF. I was sold, and I was so inspired to put my ALF principles into action. I've had the honor of spending the last 9 years helping to build ALF's alumni engagement strategy. What a joy. Designing and implementing a robust fundraising program with our alumni. You all have heard from me on that. Helping to launch facilitation and coaching services with Jenny Nicholas. Forming ALF's first advisory council, which some of you are on in this room. And with an amazing leadership team integrating our equity and belonging strategy throughout the organization, from how classes are seated to who sits on the board. Equity, diversity, and inclusion are not words that we will shy away from here at American Leadership Forum. We launched Caucus's affinity groups, a speaker series, and a podcast. We led 8 chapters through a logo redesign and lived to tell the story about it. We facilitated town halls with hundreds of Silicon Valley residents that built empathy and actually changed laws. We brought Gandhi's granddaughter here from South Africa for a weekend retreat for senior fellows, and Dolores Huerta showed up by train. We've been the proud fiscal sponsor of 3 projects: Decoded Silicon Valley, 100 Black Voices with Barry Lawson Williams, and the Thangdo Memorial Project. And, gonna try not to cry here, we published a book! Woo! Yes, we did. A Guide to Human Citizenship, the ALF Way, is done, and it's here tonight. And with 20 senior fellow co-authors generously sharing their stories. In 2022, we helped resource and strengthen ALF chapters, including our own, by becoming the headquarters for ALF National. And in 2023, we launched ALF Connect, the first online platform where 5,000 senior fellows in 44 states from 8 chapters can connect and collaborate. I am thrilled to be staying on at ALF National, helping to keep us all connected and collaborating. So I'm around. My greatest joy, however, have been my conversations with you. I've listened to 250 of your 7-minute stories. I've told my 7-minute story to 250 of you, and you listened. I've climbed the Sierra Buttes 8 times with a couple hundred of you, and I've watched you move through hard things, excruciating things, and job changes, and calls to action, and ways you've collaborated across difference to change our communities. Friends, we've been through a lot together these last 9 years, haven't we? The passing of 2 beloved Fellows Program facilitators, Laura Weaver and Greg Ranstrom. Turning the Fellows Program into an online experience hours after our world shutdown and Class 39 had met for the first and last time in person. I want to thank Class 39 for taking that risk with us, for staying in it, because you are one of the strongest classes to date in ALF, because you did that. You know, sometimes our mission statement to join and strengthen leaders to serve the common good looks more than just our fellows program, right? Is realized through more activity than just that. A month into the COVID lockdown, I worked with 30 or so senior fellows remotely to produce a live telethon on NBC. I edited 30 videos from my house in order to feature some of those nonprofits. And with Destination Home and the Silicon Valley Community Foundation, Teresa Alvarado and others raised $280,000 to keep families and individuals who instantly lost their livelihood and were at the risk of being homeless housed. Chuck Robbins, other tech leaders submitted video clips and contributions, as did so many nonprofits. And I bring that up because that's the ALF way. That is the ALF way. I have to admit that Senior Fellow Ronnie Lott's 7-minute pep talk, when I asked him for 30 seconds, was my personal favorite. And when it went to NBC, not a second landed on the cutting room floor. What a gift to have known you all these last 9 years. I have on occasions pushed fellows to examine whether you are living into your highest and best purpose, and how you're integrating self-care and life balance into the equation. And as I answered that question for myself, I knew that my work and calling was shifting. I want to take a moment to give a huge praise and gratitude to the amazing ALF staff. Stand up, y'all. Come on now. Come on. Show some love, y'all. Friends, it is incredibly, thank you, Akemi. Yeah, I'm looking at you. I know you're gone, but you're not really, because you're here. It is incredibly hard to hire and incredibly hard to keep talented nonprofit staff in Silicon Valley. These folks can stretch a dollar like nobody's business and have the heart and soul that have kept our culture vibrant. That also is the ALF way. To our donor circle members, many who are in the audience today, this organization doesn't exist without you. Your steady commitment allows us to do our work. Thank you. Finally, I am in deep gratitude to our founder, Ann DeBusk, who's here tonight. Mwah. Ann, stand up, please. Who has been a guiding light to me these last 9 years. Her genuine love of this organization and support of my leadership has been invaluable. And like I said, I'm a senior fellow for life. I'm a part of you, and you all have been, and thankfully will continue to be a part of me. And I'd be remiss if I didn't call out the moment that we're in right now. That we're all living through various degrees of disruption and fear and upheaval. And it calls for a radical imagination, a courageous openness to what our role is right now, leaning into generous collaboration so that we can move forward together to find a bigger and better day. This is a call to action to every leader and senior fellow in the room. Philanthropy, the private sector, nonprofit, public sector, please don't go in your corners and try and problem solve your way out of this. We need each other. Yeah, we need each other. And please do not settle for a philanthropic Band-Aid when we know what we need is systems change. Friends, our relationships, our humanity, our sector expertise, our ALF dialogue, that's where the possibility is. So I wrote these senior fellow commitments early in my tenure to remind us and to remind me how to live into my highest and best purpose as a senior fellow. And I promise to you all that I will continue to take the call and make the call. I will be a responsible participating citizen of this network, not a consumer of it. And that's my ask of you. Participate. Get on ALF Connect and make some noise. Start an affinity group. Lead a revolution. This is your resource. This is your opportunity in your community. It only lives and breathes with your energy. And with that, thank you for allowing me to be of service.
I am very excited about this part of the presentation, and I am grateful for your attention. I know you're so excited to see your ALF friends and family. This event always has sort of a high school reunion feel to me, but in a fun way. We are thrilled to present our first award of the evening, the John W. Gardner Leadership Award. Hi, everyone. Hold on, I gotta introduce John Gardner. He's not here. John Gardner was a visionary leader as the former Secretary of Health, Education, and Welfare under the administration of President Lyndon Johnson. He played a key role in shaping key social policies, including the establishment of Medicare and Medicaid, and the expansion of education programs and the enforcement of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Beyond his government service, Gardner was a passionate advocate for leadership development, founding Common Cause, and inspiring generations of leaders to engage in public service and work towards a more just society. So it is fitting then that our first award tonight goes to another extraordinary public sector leader, the amazing Cindy Chavez. Okay, this applause is well-deserved, but we have to play the video first. Okay. Please turn your attention to the nearest screen or the screen behind me.
Life, in my mind, is a group project. The hardest thing that is happening in that group project is the communication between all parties, understanding what their shared vision is, understanding what their plan is to address that shared vision, and taking the strengths and weaknesses of every single person and getting as many people across the finish line as you can. And it's why organizations like ALF are so important, because if in fact we can bring people together from very, very different walks of life, assess what the needs of the community are, and then do something about it. Not talk about it, but actually do something about it. We're demonstrating and modeling to others how to do it, and really all the foundations we lay are so that somebody else stands where we stood, taller, higher, stronger, and can see what we could only imagine. When I was in my ALF class, class 12, at that time, I was so new to being in elected office, and our class had amazing leaders that were already leaders in their own right. And I had a first row seat to listening to these incredible conversations, watching people debate and think. But what came out of that was that when there were challenges in the community, we had the ability to pick up the phone and call and say, "We have a problem, I want to talk to you about it." Building trusting relationships not only changes the environment you live in, but it helps the people in the community develop in a way that we truly understand each other and have the ability to live together, thrive, and prosper. I'm hopeful that I have created enough opportunity for the leaders who come after me and the community they will be working with to make big change, not little changes. We're living in a world that's going to require all of us to lean in big and to address climate change and racism and discrimination of every type at a local level and keep our communities strong and together. It's actually rather humbling to be receiving this from all of you, and to the American Leadership Forum, thank you for having faith in Silicon Valley. Thank you for lifting up its leaders. Thank you for having a vision for the future. And thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. I really am grateful.
Please welcome to the stage 2025 John W. Gardner Award winner, Cindy Chavez.
I want to just say, this is ironic in a funny way. I played a trick on Ken Yeager when he was leaving county office, and we made these big fat heads. And I made the mistake of telling someone that story, and you can see I got it back. So thank you. You know, first, it really is a very sincere, with very sincere gratitude that I stand in front of all of you today. And there are a couple of reasons. One, I'm thrilled to be here with my dear, dear friends at this rowdy, rowdy table, and all of you. And with my husband, Mike, and our son, Brennan. In our class, our group photo, which was class 12, you can see I'm holding my tummy, and that's because I was pregnant with you. Yeah. And there's so many, you know, when you think back on your life, there are these milestones that make you think about what were we doing then, and what were all the things we were trying to accomplish, and where are we now? And son, Brennan, mijo, I will just say to you that for most of the people in this room, they really have watched you grow up. And I for sure never thought you'd grow up that big. So. But let me just talk very briefly about the moment that we're in and why I really believe in organizations like ALF, like working partnerships, like APALI, like so many organizations that invest in leaders. And I want to tell you two quick stories. When COVID-19 hit, the night before we announced closures, I was on the phone both with Mayor Liccardo and with my classmate from class 12, Carl Guardino. And Carl that night said, "What do you need?" And honest to God, I had no idea. It was so big and so overwhelming. But not too long after that, I called Carl and I said, "We need your help because we didn't have the right gauge needles and we didn't have some of the materials we needed to keep people in our community safe." And working with Chris Wilder and Michael Elliott, these relationships where you deeply trust another person to come through resulted in me talking to him at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock one night and us being on the phone with leaders who were in procurement from high-tech companies throughout the valley. We saved lives here because we knew each other and we trusted each other, right? And I could give you a million examples. We raised the minimum wage here. Thank you, Bob Brownstein and Marie Noel and Derica and Steve. We raised the minimum wage here. We got a $950 million housing bond. And to say this out loud, that we needed some people to stand down and we needed other people to lean in. And PJ McGraw, Bishop McGraw, who's since passed away, was one of those moral leaders that we needed to lean in. And we needed the tech community to stay out, and they did, because we had relationships from our class. So what does that mean as we think about all the important ways that we could invest our money? We see the doors of opportunity around the globe shutting on women, on children, on people who need food, people who need housing. We will have an epidemic even bigger than we have today around housing if we see the kind of cuts we're looking at a national level. What that means for each of us is very simple. We have to trust each other. We have to lean in. We can't be one person out in front of the crowd trying to start a fight while other people are waiting because they don't want to impact frankly, the value of their business, their standing in society. The door will shut, and I don't want to leave the next generation trying to pry it open. So, to all of you who are thinking about ways
to give, to get involved. And I certainly think about campaigns all the time. But I think about NPR, KQED, public radio. Where are people going to get their information? And I think about organizations like the ones I named earlier in ALF. It feels weird to invest in soft things, but if we don't teach and we don't trust each other, the only way trust is built is through integrity. And the only way integrity is built is through accountability. And the only way we do that as a team is if we do it together and we're willing to fight and risk some things. And I'll tell you, I'm willing. And I know, and you are too. But I wanted to make sure I stuck to the program time. Because I've run these before where you're like, get off. So I will just wrap up by saying this. I am incredibly humbled. I am incredibly grateful. And I am ready to stay shoulder to shoulder with all of you, Jean and others doing the hard work, because we must. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage American Leadership Forum Board Chair from Class 33, Heather Rangel.
Hi, everybody. Following Cindy Chavez, not easy. Cindy, you probably don't remember me, but you made a moment for me happen when I was standing up against the entire justice system of the county. You gave me a platform. I'll never forget you, so thank you. Okay, I have two quick things. I have 180 seconds to give you two messages, okay? First, I just want to make some acknowledgments. When we found out that we would be spending our summer managing a CEO transition, thank you, Suzanne, we freaked out for a second, and then we all joined hands and jumped in. I want to acknowledge this amazing board. First of all, my vice chair, Mika Mayo, who just rolled up her sleeves, and if any of you know Mika, she just slotted this into all the things she has to do, and she got busy. The rest of the board, too. This is a board that was used to meeting every quarter, doing some monthly activities. We moved into weekly activities, daily activities, and for many of us, multiple times daily activities. So it has been a big task, and it's been amazing to work with them. I really want to thank them, including Rebecca Vermeulen, who's taken on the CEO search role. The other most important thing that happened during this time of transition is that David Yarnold stepped in to become our interim CEO. David, please stand up so everyone can see your beautiful face. For such an esteemed leader and seasoned CEO to take this position with us really speaks to, and I know I speak for David when I say it speaks to the experience he had with ALF. It changed his life, and he's giving back by way of this job, so thank you, David. My next message, my last message, we are building our board up. We decided to meet the moment of this big moment of change. We're going to really beef up our numbers and our diversity of mindset and our skill set. So we're going to do something really significant and try to bring on a big chunk of people to the board that we typically would have a smaller board. To help us do that, we recruited, and they said yes, the one and only Rolanda Pierre-Dixon. Where is she? And our newest board member, who I tell her this all the time, the second she said yes to joining the board, she started making it better, Tina Brown. So I'm saying those names and I'm calling them out because if you have any interest in joining our board, now's the time. We have a couple of profiles that we're looking for. Contact Rolanda, contact Tina if you want to get involved. We would love to have you come join us. So with that, I'll just remind you the future for ALF is bright. Suzanne left us in great hands. And now it's time for you to consider giving back in another way. Last year, they dragged me off the stage and I didn't get to fundraise, but this year, you all have paddles, so we're going to try to do it again. So I'm going to hand back over to Michael. Thank you so much. It's been an honor to be your board chair.
Very much. I'm pleased now to move to our second award of the evening. I sadly never had the pleasure of meeting Greg Ranstrom, but his legacy lives on in so many of the fellows that he walked through the ALF program. He believed in cross-sector networks of holistic leaders rooted in making a big impact. And tonight, we celebrate an extraordinary example of network leadership in action. Please turn your attention now to the screen behind me to learn more about the legacy of APALI.
I created APALI because in 1997, I was the first Asian American to be a mayor of Cupertino. And at that time, there was a real need for leaders from our community in every level of civic engagement. The APALI's mission is to train best-of-class civic leaders and then to help them network and have an impact in our society.
In order to be a leader, you need awareness of the whole world. APALI not only give individual leadership skills, but also open your mind up, getting along with other people, learning your own potential to help others, to help the community.
The biggest accomplishment that APALI has is creating a space for leaders at all levels to think about their civic engagement, where they are headed, what would bring them satisfaction, what is their vision, and feel supported by the network so that they want to be part of this network. It's a privilege.
I get involved with APALI almost from beginning. We train the leader to get involved. But more important is get the harmony of the community. That's really what we need today. We see the APALI getting stronger, have more impact. I just feel very proud in this program.
To me and to APALI, ALF is such an inspirational organization. In building networks, its faith in networks, sustaining networks for the common good is what APALI like to do in the same way. We have expanded our Youth Leadership Academy for young adults, SLAY, and we went from one college to 16 colleges with 265 students last year. So the future is to continue to be a positive impact in our community.
Dr. Michael Chang has been training all the young people for many, many years. And the fact that they have produced so many successful leaders tells me that this is the organization I should support. It's very rare to find a leader like that, people who are good in what they do.
I want to thank ALF for this incredible award. It is an important validation of what we stand for, and it shows a lot of care and solidarity, and we really appreciate that.
To accept the award for the APALI Network, please welcome to the stage APALI founder Michael Chang, co-executive director Dennis Chu, and County Supervisor Betty Duong.
What an honor. What an honor to be elevated like this. It's truly special. And I just feel at this moment a lot of gratitude towards ALF, towards everyone in here. And I guess I wrote down a lot of things. I want to just start by telling you that, that I'm an immigrant to this country and was really blessed and thankful to this country. I came here exactly 50 years ago and have been since blessed in this country by folks like you that actually welcomes immigrants and would allow us to be integrated and to be seen. My favorite quote from Brené Brown is a simple one, is that courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. And so it turns out that APALI's journey is allowing folks that have not been seen, have not been acknowledged, to claim a space to move the society forward together. And I am really grateful to be with my hero, Cindy Chavez here, absolutely understands a multicultural democracy and practices it by every single year for the last 15 years, coming to APALI and participating in our training of leaders. And when Cindy says, I want you, and these poor folks have never thought about this, and when she says, I want you to step up and to run for office, we need you. People actually listen. And here's my co-executive director that listened to Cindy and ran for the El Camino Hospital Board of the Health Trust. And here is Betty Young. Betty is an alumni of APALI, and I actually have to look at this to read it properly. She's an alumni from year 2000, 2004, 2005, 2012, and she is now in our Fellows network. So I'm going to have to nominate Betty for ALF. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have just said Betty. County Supervisor Betty. Yeah. So we're among a lot of people in here. I was just grateful to see so many APALI alumni. I count between half a dozen and maybe 10 in here. And I'm so grateful that we had a chance to elevate you and be part of your leadership journey. I'm pretty sure before you became ALF Fellows. So I just really want to thank you. I want to mention two in particular. Camille Lannis-Fontanilla for her leadership work for Sobrato. She was in APALI class of 2011. Ann Im, who was in who's her leadership in Silicon Valley Community Foundation. She was in the APALI class of 2007. I'm going to miss people, but Mayor Ellen Kamei is here. Former Mayor Mariko Sayok is here. Margaret Abe Koga, who was the first APALI staff that helped me as the Associate Director and trained our Youth Leadership Academy and our first adult leadership group. APALI has an integrated model, which we might be unique in the United States, where we take leaders from college and then we keep them and train them in our adult program, whether it be civic leadership program, board leadership academy, and then the Senior Fellows program. Well, actually, we don't call it Senior Fellows. That idea came from somewhere. Do you know where that idea came from? So I've been surveying, and I found out that class 15 is the best class in ALF. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank the best class, and especially Webb McKinney, Carol Lawson, Judge Yu, Judge Erica Yu, for being such champions and believers in APALI. The opportunity to meet up periodically for the last, every year for the last 23 years. They have literally, looked at APALI, nurtured APALI in many ways, and I thank all our classmates for their wisdom and for their support for APALI. So I think I want to mention all that because I think ALF should be proud of us, right? Because ALF is about networking. We started our public fellows network after the ALF model. We have 106 currently elected public officials in our network. We have over 700 active alumni, and so we thank you for elevating us and giving us visibility for our work. Thank you so much.
we just did the whole we have the first same name thing, which all Michaels somehow were amused to meet other Michaels, even though there's 10,000 of us. Speaking of another Michael, now for our final award for the night. Mike Gaulke's leadership at Exponent was marked by strategic growth, innovation, and a strong commitment to technical excellence, only to be matched by his impact of his extraordinary philanthropy in the fields of oceanography and healthcare. Please now turn your attention to the screen as we honor John W. Gardner Award winner, Mike Gaulke.
I would describe myself as a leader as one that tries to lead by example. I'm a competitor and I love to win. I'm a team player and I try to put the team first. One of the secrets that I've discovered is that if you surround yourself with people that are as good or better than you are and use that as a basis to build a team, it will end up being a winner. My advice for any young person coming into the business world or nonprofit world is follow your passion. We all work so hard to be successful. If your heart is not in it, if you're not pursuing that love of accomplishment, then you're probably not going to get there. I will be forever grateful to ALF for the opportunity to develop trusted relationships with my ALF classmates that allowed me to better understand many of today's issues. I guess I hope to be remembered as a loving husband, as a good friend, as a successful businessman, and as a thoughtful philanthropist, to be remembered as a man whose efforts has helped make the world a better place. I'd like to thank ALF for the honor of being with a group of prior recipients that are just so impressive. Many of those prior award winners are friends that I have great respect for, and just the thought of being invited to be in that group to me is a tremendous honor. So thank you, ALF. I really appreciate it.
Please welcome to the stage the 2025 John W. Gardner Award winner, Mike Gaulke.
Thank you, Michael, for that introduction. I want to thank Warner Thomas for kicking things off for me earlier tonight as well. What an incredible honor it is to receive this award tonight. First, I want to thank you all for coming here and supporting ALF in the way that you did with the challenge. Your presence means so much. To my family and friends, and especially those who came from out of state, my wife Judy and I really appreciate you being here. Thank you. I have to say, I was completely surprised when Suzanne told me I'd be receiving a 2025 Gardner Exemplary Leadership Award. I had never thought in my mind that I was even up for consideration. So thank you, thank you, thank you. As I shared in the video, I've always been one whose leadership style I would describe as lead by example. So tonight I want to briefly focus on two examples of philanthropy that Judy and I hope might inspire others to follow. Life has been good to us. When we realized that a successful business career had given us the means to give back, we asked ourselves, where can we have the most impact? We decided to focus on two areas, healthcare and education. Healthcare was a natural natural choice. At age 27, just after graduating from the Stanford Business School and starting a job at McKinsey, I was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic testicular cancer. Thankfully, modern medicine and the extraordinary doctors at the Palo Alto Medical Foundation saved my life, and I knew that I wanted to give back. I began by joining the board of trustees of PAMP, and 38 years later, I'm still proud to serve. In 2010, I joined the Sutter Health Board and served as its board chair in 2017 and 2018. Also in 2017, Judy and I endowed a new initiative we called the Innovation Hatchery at Sutter Health, with a mission to improve the delivery of health care across Sutter and across America. Chris Waugh, Sutter's Chief Innovation Officer, who helped us launch that effort, is here tonight and continues to lead it with passion and creativity. Chris, thank you for all the incredible work that you have done. The second area we focused on is education. I earned a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from Oregon State University in 1968. Incredibly, in its 150-year history, Oregon State had never had an endowed chair in electrical engineering. So in 2012, Judy and I established the first. Those of you who know us know how much we love the ocean. We have a second home in Hawaii where we spend 5 months of the year. Most mornings we begin with a paddle on the ocean in a 2-man outrigger canoe. In 2023, we announced the creation of the Gaulke Center for Marine Innovation and Technology at Oregon State University. It brings together researchers in oceanography, engineering, and marine science to contribute to the critical challenges our oceans face today. From warming and pollution to species preservation, clean energy, sustainable ocean mining, there are urgent works to be done. We've just hired our first executive director, Dr. Andoni Lavery, who joins us from Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. It's an exciting step forward for us. I want to acknowledge also Dr. Scott Ashford, the Dean of the College of Engineering at Oregon State, who's here tonight, for his help and guidance in making the Gaulke Center a reality. Thank you, Scott. Before I close, I want to make a heartfelt pitch for ALF, as many others have tonight. In my 80 years, I can't recall a time when our nation has felt more divided. If ever there was a moment when Americans across backgrounds and beliefs need to come together to listen, to lead, to find common goals and common ground, that moment is now. Over the past 38 years, ALF has shown it can bring leaders together to solve complex problems with courage and collaboration. Our community needs ALF's vision, values, and leadership now more than ever. Once again, thank you for this extraordinary honor and a chance to celebrate together here tonight.
Mike Gaulke, everyone. How about another round of applause for all of our awardees tonight? Cindy Chavez, APALI, and Mike Gaulke. Well, folks, that is it. It has been a delight to have you here tonight. I want to remind you of two things, one of which is for everyone who gave tonight, your complimentary copy of A Guide to Human Citizenship will be by the door. And Jim and Becky Morgan have an additional book for everyone, whether or not you donated, though if you feel guilty getting something for free tonight, you can talk to an ALF staff person and give then. A couple thank yous. First of all, thank you to all the ALF board contributors tonight, the staff, and our amazing announcer at the back, Mr. Sean O'Kane. And finally, there's a nice bouquet of flowers at your table, and if there's someone that could use a little light and love right now, give it to that person and they can take it home. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for the work that you do in supporting ALF. We'll see you next year.